Hi, welcome to this edition of MTP Tech Talk. This week we're going to run you through the process of upgrading an axle from the current lazy axle configuration into a braked axle configuration. A little bit on wheel selection and how at this point it's a good time to make a change if you want to adjust the wheels while we're actually in the process of adjusting the axle size. So stay tuned and we'll run you through the process. Okay, so this is my own personal 10x6 Go Kart trailer. So during the downtime recently we've had a bit of time to add a few additions to it, make a few modifications, batteries, some lighting and different things like that. During that process we've realised obviously once we've weighed it that it's gone overweight, so now we've got to go through the process of retrofitting it with a braking system. So we're going to guide you through that process. Currently the trailer is fitted with a B-type 45 square axle with lazy hubs, which effectively, having the lazy hub and no braking system, limits its total carrying capacity to 750 kilos under the current regulations. By adding the addition of a braking system, we'll be able to then bring that rating up to around about 1400 kilos. Okay, so we've now got the axle removed from the trailer. What we're going to do now is identify the length. The most accurate way to identify length for us is by measuring from the outside of the bolt face to the outside of the bolt face. So if you take a tape measure and measure from the outside of the bolt face to the outside of the bolt face, it has a reading in this case of 1.8 metres. Okay, so with that we now know that on this type of axle, which is 45 square, we know that the distance from the bolt face to the end of the axle shaft is actually 55 mil. So if we add 55 mil by 2 to our 1850, we come up with a 1955 millimetre axle length, which equates to a 77-inch axle. So the easy measurement there is take your 1955, divide it by 25.4, and you'll have the axle length in inches. Okay, so now we've determined the length, which is 77 inches tip to tip and 1800 mil bolt face to bolt face. So we've got the two measurements that we can work with, so you can supply both measurements to us. What we're going to do to this axle, as you can see at the moment, what we have here is just your conventional lazy axle, and in this configuration this lazy axle is rated up to 1400 kilos as it sits in a static load, but technically you can't rate it at 1400 because it has no braking system. So what we're going to do in order to gain the maximum amount of load out of this axle shaft is we're going to retrofit it with an electric brake kit. So that'll give us the opportunity then to carry the full 1400 kilo load that the axle shaft is rated for. Okay, so now we've determined the length at 77 inches, as you can see on the axle down the front here. What we're going to do, we're actually going to go through the process of fitting the brake kit to the axle. So we'll show you through the process. Okay, now the first stage is complete. The axle's been into the lathe. We've machined the ends into the B-type configuration. Okay, so the next stage is we mount the anchor plate to the axle. Prior to welding, we use a jig in order to ensure the accuracy of the backing plate inside the drum on completion. So you see we've got it fitted up. We'll go through the process of welding it now. Okay, so the assembly process is now complete, so it's all ready to bolt back in again. Here are the fittings required to mount the axle to the trailer. 4 U-bolts, 2 anchor plates, 2 axle pads and 8 nylock nuts. As you can see here, we've mounted the axle on top of the spring pack and started fitting the U-bolts. Next up, before fastening the U-bolts, always double check the measurements are correct and that the axle is centered on the springs. Now it's time to refit the hub and fasten all of the U-bolts. Okay, so today to wrap up our trailer refurb and our upgrade on the axle on the Go Kart trailer, we've decided to fit our latest addition to the Raptor family, which is the 15 by 6.5 Raptor. Comes in a 0 offset and has a 1300 kilo load rating. So what we'll do is we'll go through the process, we'll put a tyre on it, and then we'll show you some photos with it fitted to the trailer. Okay, so we've come to the end of our build. We've now got the tyre fitted to the wheel. We've fitted the wheel to the trailer. So in effect what we've done is we've taken the trailer from having a lazy axle with an effective load rating of 750, which was its maximum legal carrying capacity. Now we've upgraded it. We're now up to 1400 kilos. We've got an electric 10-inch brake fitted and B-type 45 square axle. To give the finishing touch to our trailer, we've decided to wrap it with a racing team logo. Wrapping the trailer is an effective way to promote your brand, and it turns your trailer into a moving billboard. And as you can see through the video, we've worked out different axle lengths and things like that, but that's what we're here to do. So if you need us to guide you through your process, whether it be fitting new wheels or upgrading the axle or suspension or any of the components, feel free to give us a ring. The contact details are on the website.